Did you really remove the Tennessee state flag from your conference room?
Senator, I appreciate you asking about this again. As the chief federal law enforcement.
Welcome. Did you do it?
So I felt it was fundamentally inappropriate when I gave press conferences and similar statements to the public to indicate or suggest somehow that I spoke for the state, which I don't under our system of federalism.
Are you embarrassed to be from Tennessee?
Not at all, Senator. I am from Tennessee, grew up as a public school kid in Tennessee.
But you were embarrassed to have the Tennessee flag.
That's not it at all, Senator.
Okay. You have a history of lying to your professional colleagues, don't you?
That's not true, Senator.
Okay. Do you know a former public defender named Stephen Shankman?
I knew him to a degree. I'm not sure we ever had any cases together. I knew who he was, yes.
Well, in a private email, not meant for public consumption, to another one of your professional colleagues, this is what Mr. Shankman said, talking about your lying.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now, I know you're all aware of the ongoing fight for the heart and soul of this country, especially when it comes to the people who are supposed to uphold the law. Today we've got a really important video to talk about. It's about a tough exchange between Senator John Kennedy and judicial nominee Joe Ritz. And let me tell you folks, this one was a real eye-opener. Grab a seat because we're about to dive deep into this. Now, folks, first of all, let me just say this, Senator John Kennedy is the kind of fighter we need in Washington. He didn't hold back in this interrogation. He went straight for the jugular. And trust me, we need more people like him out there asking the tough questions that the media won't touch. This isn't about political correctness. It's about standing up for what's right. And as a true American patriot, I'm glad to see Kennedy pushing back against this judicial nominee who seems to have his own agenda. I will be back after the video to break this down.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Ritz, you are a political activist, aren't you?
I would not consider myself that at all, Senator.
Okay. When you were sworn in as U.S. Attorney, you gave a speech, didn't you?
I did.
Okay. Here's what you said. I'm going to quote from your speech. But you should know that justice for me is about more than putting people in prison. For me, it's also about who votes and how hard it is to cast that vote. It's about where pipelines go. It's about where bus routes go. Justice is about whether people in all zip codes can get a loan, whether women have access to health care, whether citizens have affordable housing or clean drinking water. Sometimes those are Department of Justice issues. Sometimes they are not. But for me, they're all justice issues. Did I read that accurately?
I believe so, Senator.
Okay. Did you really remove the Tennessee state flag from your conference room?
Senator, I appreciate you asking about this again. As the chief federal law enforcement.
Welcome. Did you do it?
So I felt it was fundamentally inappropriate when I gave press conferences and similar statements to the public to indicate or suggest somehow that I spoke for the state, which I don't under our system of federalism.
Are you embarrassed to be from Tennessee?
Not at all, Senator. I am from Tennessee, grew up as a public school kid in Tennessee.
But you were embarrassed to have the Tennessee flag.
That's not it at all, Senator.
Okay. You have a history of lying to your professional colleagues, don't you?
That's not true, Senator.
Okay. Do you know a former public defender named Stephen Shankman?
I knew him to a degree. I'm not sure we ever had any cases together. I knew who he was, yes.
Well, in a private email, not meant for public consumption, to another one of your professional colleagues, this is what Mr. Shankman said, talking about your lying. He said, "It is unfortunate that this is not the first, second, third, or whatever occasion that this sort of thing has occurred. But everyone should be aware of this unfortunate pattern of behavior. You should be aware," he said to the other lawyer, before the other lawyer dealt with you. Your client should be aware, and you should proceed with extreme caution. Was Mr. Shankman lying?
To the degree he suggested that I acted unethically, that was not accurate, and it wasn't in any occasion, much less on numerous occasions.
Okay, let's talk about this case, United States v. Von Rico Weber, which you claim to not remember. But before I do that, a few seconds ago, you lied to Senator Hawley, didn't you?
I'm under oath, Senator. I did not lie.
You said you have no knowledge of any complaint, professional complaint made against you, didn't you?
I said I have no knowledge of any sort of formal complaint, and he read from a letter that I don't believe I ever saw.
And you were shocked. You never heard of that before.
If there were a formal complaint, that, as I said, I had not known about that.
Okay. You were amazed.
I don't recall any of that. I recall this Mr. Weber's case.
You have amnesia about it.
Again, I am unaware of any formal complaint or investigation. Certainly was not.
You believe in the Tooth Fairy?
Senator, I don't.
You believe in the Easter Bunny? Now, in this case, United States v. Von Rico Weber, you lied to the defense counsel. And the defense counsel then had to go before the court and withdraw a plea for his counsel. And a complaint was filed, about which you apparently have amnesia. And the Justice Department replaced you. And the lawyer from the Justice Department who replaced you, this is what the lawyer said. The new attorney said about you. He said, these allegations against Mr. Ritz are, quote, serious. And it is taken so seriously, referring to the Department of Justice, by our office. That is one of the reasons I'm here, and Mr. Ritz will be more than likely be taken off this case because of those allegations. End quote. You lied to Senator Hawley, didn't you?
I didn't lie to the defense counsel in that case. I didn't lie today, Senator.
Now, my good friend Senator Ossoff asked you if you'd follow the law. And you said, yeah. But if you're lying to us today, we're stuck with you, aren't we?
Senator, I have not lied and did not lie in that case.
You just have amnesia.
I did not lie in that case. There was a written plea agreement with the entire agreement of the parties.
If you believe that, you believe Elvis is alive and running a small bait stand on Lake Erie. Shame on you.
Mr. Ritz, I asked our staff here who review all sorts of nominees' qualifications and backgrounds, how it would be possible that someone could file a complaint against someone and they didn't know it. They said it is not uncommon at all for OPR to decide not to act on that letter of complaint and not to proceed with it and not even to notify the person accused.
That's my understanding as well, but again, yes.
We think that's a fact. So this notion about amnesia or whatever it may be, it is credible, at least possible, that exactly as you portrayed it, they never notified you. Senator Booker.
Thank you, Mr. Ritz, for being here. I really appreciate it.
Now let's break it down. First, Kennedy calls out Joe Ritz for his political activism. Ritz made it pretty clear in his past speeches that for him, justice is more than just law and order. He's about pushing an agenda, talking about things like voting rights, healthcare, and pipelines. And while some of these issues are important, let's be clear here. They are not the job of a federal prosecutor. A federal prosecutor's job is to enforce the law, not get involved in social engineering. When Ritz says, justice for me is about more than putting people in prison, well, that's a red flag right there. And then there's this. He took down the Tennessee state flag from his office. Now look, folks, I don't know about you, but if you're proud of where you come from, you shouldn't be ashamed of it. If you're a true patriot, you're proud of your roots. But Ritz, he felt it was inappropriate to have the Tennessee flag in his office. I gotta ask, is this what we want in our government? Someone who can't even represent the state he's from? What's next? Disowning our country's flag. It's embarrassing. But here's the thing, it's not just about the flag. It's about his track record. Kennedy hits Ritz hard on his professional conduct, calling him out for a pattern of unethical behavior. And let me tell you, this is exactly what we need. We need our elected officials to hold nominees accountable. No one should be getting a free pass because they're a part of the right political circles. Kennedy makes it clear, this man has lied to colleagues in the past, and it's a serious issue. And let's talk about the United States versus Von Rico Weber case because this is where things really get serious. Ritz claimed he didn't remember anything about it. He lied to the defense counsel, caused a plea agreement to fall apart, and then tried to act like it was no big deal. And don't you just love how Kennedy calls him out? The man has the audacity to act like he doesn't know what's going on. But the truth came out, folks. Ritz was removed from that case because of serious allegations, and Kennedy wasn't letting him get away with it. Listen, here's the deal. If you want to be a judge, a prosecutor, or hold any position of power in this country, you've got to be honest. No more lies. No more hiding behind half-truths. We need people in these positions who have integrity. And let's face it, Ritz doesn't pass the sniff test. He's shown a history of dishonesty and disregard for the very system he's supposed to uphold. That's not the kind of person we want making decisions that affect every single American citizen. Kennedy also nails Ritz on the fact that he had no clue about any formal complaints against him. Seriously, you've been accused of misconduct and you have amnesia about it? How convenient. And the excuse he gives? I didn't know about the complaints. Come on. We know that's just a cover-up. You can't tell me that the Department of Justice or anyone else didn't inform him about the allegations. He's either lying or incredibly incompetent. Now let's get to the real heart of the matter. This nominee, Joe Ritz, has been accused of lying, acting unethically, and even trying to cover up his wrongdoings. And what does he do when confronted? He doubles down and acts like we're all stupid. Oh, I don't remember, I didn't know, that never happened. Is this the kind of person we want in charge of interpreting our laws? Is this the kind of person we want overseeing the justice system? I gotta give it to Senator Kennedy. He's got away with words. Asking Ritz if he believes in the tooth fairy? Brilliant. I mean, honestly, the way Ritz tries to dodge the facts is like a child making excuses. At this point, Kennedy's fed up and you can tell. He's holding Ritz accountable, and that's what we need more of. So, here's the bottom line, folks. We need a judicial system that we can trust. We need men and women in power who will protect our rights, uphold the Constitution, and do so with integrity. People like Joe Ritz? They're not the ones we want making those decisions. We need patriots in these positions, people who are honest, transparent, and willing to put America first. Not political activists hiding behind their titles, not people who are willing to lie to cover up their mistakes. We can't let this slide. We can't allow people like Ritz to slip through the cracks and get into positions where they can hurt the very fabric of our justice system. So what do you think? Do you think Joe Ritz deserves to be confirmed? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, if we don't stay vigilant and fight for what's right, we risk losing everything this country stands for. Thanks for watching, and God bless America.